Good morning and welcome to Yoga for Everyday Endurance Athletes and Normal People too. It's a beautiful summer Sunday morning, Tuesday morning. We're starting in our seated position. I haven't talked much about my family as we go here, but my dad, back in the day, he got fired from his job on the city, road crew. He worked there for a long time, and I didn't believe it. It's like, why would my dad get fired? But when I got home, all the signs were there. Wait, I think I blew that. He got fired for theft. Oh, I'm sorry. That was really bad. Here, let's try this again. I remember the other one. This is even worse though, but I have a Polish friend who's a sound technician for bands. And I think it check one, two, check one, two, check one, two. Breathe into your belly. Those are really, really awful. I'm sorry. I may have to edit those out before I put those out. Breathing into our nose, into our bellies. And we are just getting our breath focused on our movement. And that's what we're going to be working on today is some balance, warrior sequence, and then a tree pose to just kind of work on overall strength while moving with our breath. All right, let's roll forward. And if you notice, I was sitting on a block. And sometimes in the easy pose, having a block is to sit on is a little bit easier on your hips and opens them up. We're going to come in a child's pose, and we're going to use a block as well if you'd like one. My knees are wide and my big toes are together, and I'm going to sit my butt back onto my heels. And with the block, I'm going to stretch out my arms and put my forehead on it as a way of supporting my head and my torso a little bit so I'm not like falling forward. So the inhale and the exhale will be the same. I'm going to inhale, lift up my torso a little bit, walk my fingers out a little bit farther, and exhale and come down. So I'm trying to on the exhale, straighten my back a little bit. So I'm feeling this much more in my upper hamstrings, into my glutes, as well as my shoulders. All right, let's roll up, and we're going to come into a cow and cat. I'm setting aside my block for now. And in cow and cat, we are inhaling and dropping our belly, which is weird way I'm going to say this. I'm dropping my belly, lifting up my head, sticking out my butt, and then the exhale is letting my breath come out, and I'm arching my back, pulling my hips under and looking at my toes between my knees. And inhaling, dropping my belly. And exhaling. Just rolling back and forth at your own pace. All right. Let's bring your hands up front. We'll come into a downward dog. Curl your toes back under. Lift your hips up. So we have a few things going on in downward dog. The first inhale is to come up on our tiptoes. Drop your heel. One heel down. Open up your calf muscle a little. Inhale up. Exhale back down. And the other heel. And then inhale back up. Exhale, bring both heels down. Then you can inhale up. And this time, try to bring your collarbones down so that you're trying to create a straight line between your hips to your hands. And try to push the mat away with your hands. Inhale. Look up toward the front of the mat, and as you exhale, you walk your feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale to a forward fold, and then down, all the way up, rather, into a mountain, arms overhead, and then hands down. We're going to do that all over again, just to keep a little bit of movement. Forward fold, inhale to a half lift, forward fold, and then all the way back up. As you inhale, and then one more time, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift, exhale to forward fold, and then all the way up to a mountain. Hands together, and then bring your hands to heart center, and then to your side. All right. So now I've got a little bit of warmth built up, and we're going to do a warrior sequence from a standing position here. So find your breath into your belly. So by standing, I mean we're in our standing attention pose, our mountain pose. Breathing into our belly. Our knees are slightly bent. Good. We're going to inhale and step back with our right foot. Drop your right heel, and we're going to come into a warrior one. In a warrior one, inhale to open up your shoulders. The exhale is to rotate them forward. Okay, so you'll feel the strength happening in your left butt cheek and in your left thigh. The opening happening in your right leg, especially on the inside of your right hip. And you're also doing a little bit of work with your right glute, trying to kind of hold your leg in place because you want to keep your leg mostly straight, but not locked out. Okay. Then your arms stay upright. If this is too much, you can bring your arms to your side or at your shoulders or at your side, either way. You're inhaling into your belly and then exhaling and rotating. Good. So as you open, you're hopefully feeling more motion in your hips. That's the goal as you rotate forward. Good. Now we're going to inhale, open, and exhale. Rotate our arms and our hips to warrior two. All right. Now the first thing to check is your front knee. often rolls in, so roll it back out over your knee. Your back leg is staying in the same spot. So you are feeling that same opening happening. Just a little different now because now you're trying to get your hips to open up sideways like that. Okay. Same with your shoulders, but that doesn't always work. So the inhale is to open up your shoulders and relax them. The exhale is to spread your hands out as far as you can. So look to feel some weight on your back leg so that you're not leaning forward. You can check to see if your heels are all in a nice alignment. So oftentimes when I'm inhaling, I'll also kind of straighten my front leg a little bit. And then on the exhale, sink a little bit farther into the pose. So this you end up feeling a little bit more on the inside, your abductor, your abductor, I think. I can never remember the two, which one is which. The muscles that pull your leg in. Good. Now we're going to come into a reverse warrior. So inhale, drop your right leg, bring your left up into the air. Now you can have your right hand behind you or on your right hip or on your right leg. The inhale is to lift your torso up. The exhale is to bend sideways as if you were trying to bring your right shoulder to your right knee. Good. Just keep bending over. Good. We're almost done. One more breath. Good. Now we're going to cartwheel your hands. Bring your right hand up, cartwheel your hands, and put them on either side of your left foot, and then bring your left foot back into a downward dog. I am stiff this morning. It is a little hard to move around, a little DOMS, a little delayed onset muscle soreness. Lots of working out this weekend. All right, now we're going to lift up our right leg and walk it forward. Drop my left heel, and I'm going to flip around, and we're going to come into warrior one on this side. There we go. All right, same process. Inhale, your legs straight, but not locked out. Look, it's almost locked out, but I'm not. I'm going to rotate my hips. There you go. Good. First of all, breathe into your belly, then rotate. So the motion helps your breathing, and the breathing helps the motion. You're almost trying to create, not almost, you are trying to create just a little bit of a back bend. as you are rotating forward. All right, here we go. Inhale. I'm going to rotate down to a warrior two. Good. Again, check your front leg, your front knee. Try to be more on your heel in the front than on your toes. So that usually engages your glutes more than anything. If you start getting onto your toes, it engages your calf muscle more. So we want to have more strength built up into our glutes. It's a bigger muscle. It's going to last longer. So we want to try to do that. The other thing when you're doing a warrior two and you're opening up, you want to try to keep, it's easy to kind of rotate your hips forward. But again, we're trying to stay in one narrow plane. So when you're rotating your hips and your shoulders, you're still keeping, it's almost like you're trying to suck your gut in, but you're not. You're just trying to keep your hips underneath your shoulders. I do that a lot, actually, now that I think about it. I have my hips forward. Keep going, one more breath here. Good. Now we're going to inhale, bring our right hand up, left hand behind us in a reverse warrior. And again, we're trying to do on the exhale is bring my my left shoulder to my left knee. The inhale is coming back. It's almost as if I'm trying to do like a wave on a dance party. That's kind of how you're doing it, but you're leaning back and then coming up, relaxed, inhale, and then exhale, let the air come out slowly and bend sideways. And again, you're going to feel this more in the inside of your thigh, in your left side. Good. Let's get a couple more breaths. It's also easy to start kind of straightening your front leg. Just keep it bent. I find that, I do that all the time. You get tired. You're almost done. Good. Bring your arm down. And all we're going to do now is just step forward, relax our legs a little bit, get a sip of coffee. All right. Now we're going to do some balance poses. Well, we're going to work on our balance by doing, excuse me, a tree pose. So we're going to visualize the breath, our left leg to be all the way through. So we're going to inhale and we're going to imagine the inhale going all the way through our leg, through our foot, into the concrete of my garage floor. I'm going to come on my tiptoes with my right foot, open my right knee, put my heel on my ankle, my left ankle, right? I'm thinking about the air going all the way through. I'm also going to find a spot on the floor to stare at. All right, now you can stay with your tiptoes. You can bring your foot up into your calf. You can bring your foot, your inner thigh, focus on the breath coming in and out from your nose, through your nose. Lift up your arms, and again, your bottom leg is not locked out. It's straight, but not locked. You're engaging your left glute. Stare at that spot on the floor till it gets kind of fuzzy. One more breath. Good. Come on down. When you stare at that spot, in Sanskrit, it's a drishti. It's that staring at something until you're kind of, it's not even tunnel vision. It's just complete focus. And if you can do that and get your breath, and you get these miraculous moments of just like being able to manage it. Get your breath onto your right foot and just kind of focus it all the way through. Sometimes in classes that I'm teaching, I'll get that moment and I'll kind of forget what I'm doing. All right, I'm breathing into my foot. I've got my spot that I'm staring at. Lift up my foot when I'm ready. Again, I'm going to engage my right glute. And I'm just focusing on that one spot and breathing. And come on down. You can often tell when you're in that spot because you're suddenly, I can tell when somebody in my class is in that moment of just kind of getting it. It's because they quit moving. And there's no more because that happens. It's suddenly like, oh, they've got it. And then they start wobbling because they become aware that they've got it. It's kind of cool. All right. So we are going to kind of do a little bit backwards here. How are we doing on time? Good. We're just going to come down into a sun salutation and get ourselves into a plank, and then we're going to do some plank waves. All right, so inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale down to a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. And then bring your hands to the mat and walk your feet back into a plank. We're going to hold this for a few moments. Your knees can be a little bit bent. Your hips are higher than you don't want to be completely straight. You want to have your hips just a little up. Let's inhale, push back to a downward dog. These are called plank waves because now we're going to inhale. And on the exhale, come down into a plank again. We're going to hold this for a moment. Inhale. Exhale back to downward dog. And then we're going to roll forward into a plank. Breathe into your belly. That's the key, especially when you're getting tired of planks. Inhale back to a downward dog on the exhale. Inhale, roll forward on the exhale. Inhale and exhale back to a plank. Just have one more. Inhale. And on the exhale, roll forward. All right. Then we'll come to a low plank or just drop your knees. And we're going to come into a locust pose. And in locust pose, my chin is just on the mat. And my hands are at my side. Backs of my hands are down, palms up. And in locust, we're going to try to kind of bend ourselves in half backwards. So the inhale is to lift up my head and shoulders and hands. On the well, I guess the breathing in this case doesn't matter as much. When we're lifting these up, I'm going to bring my shoulder blades together. If I feel like I can, I'm going to lift up my knees and my feet so that really just my belly and my hips are on the mat. The breathing is into my belly. And if I'm getting it right, I'm kind of doing this rocking back and forth thing. And I'm trying to squeeze my shoulder blades together. I'm squeezing my glutes hard. My lower back is working a lot. And I'm going to relax them. And let's come on to my left cheek. Just rest a moment. Good. All right, let's come back, chin to the mat, and we're going to do that again. This time, if you'd like to, you can bring an arm bind by just bringing your hands together. We're going to inhale and come on up on the exhale. Let's bring your hands together if you want to in a bind. This kind of helps you bring your shoulders back and together a little bit more. Just pull yourself back. Feel the strength in your lower back and your glutes. And relax. All right, let's come back into a child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together. Sit your butt back onto your heels. Hopefully this feels a little bit better than it did at the start. Reach your hands forward and let your torso just fall forward. And see, my head's not quite making it to the mat. And that's where the block comes in handy, but we're just going to be here for a moment. So inhale, lift up your torso a little bit, reach out your hands. Just let the backs of your legs, your hamstrings into your glutes, just relax on the exhale. One more breath. All right, let's roll up. Come to easy pose into your seated pose. Find your breath into your belly. All right, let's get our hands at our side. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands together. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your presence and I'm grateful that you are here. Namaste. All right, thanks for joining us. And check out Simple Endurance Coaching for more coaching, strength training, and yoga. And set up a virtual coffee so we can talk about your training, see how things are going. Thanks. Take care.